Welcome back to the Sunday Dinner Chef. I'm Tom. Today we're going to do things in segments, okay? I'm going to do it a little bit different. First of all, I have a nice butternut squash here. It's getting a little cool out, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some soup. Butternut squash soup. And then also I have some leftover Italian bread that I had made. Okay, it's a little hard. But what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to be making what they call a spadini alla romano, okay, with an olive sauce. All right. Basically, it is a lemon garlic, butter, a little bit of wine, and olives put in it. It gets sprinkled over the top of this. This is a procedure, and we're going to roll right through that. Also, I'm doing, look at this right here. This is a pork belly, okay, that I'm going to roast and then cut up nice and thin, and we're going to add that into some linguine. All right, let's get going. Okay, first things first, I'm going to cut this spaghetti squash. You got to be careful with this because you know what, this is kind of tough. Now, some people take it and they put it into the microwave. Yeah, you can do that. You can get away with that, doing that. But I like to do it this way here. Makes it a little bit easier. All right. And then what I'll do is I'll take my peeler and I'll just run the peeler down and take the skin right off, okay? Okay, I got them. I'm just gonna cut these up in sections, just make it a little bit easier to work with. Like I said, this is pretty tough. I need a heavy, sharp knife. Alright, I'm just gonna rough chop them. Try to get them as small as possible because this is gonna get through. I'm gonna cook them and then puree them into the pot to make the soup. Now, got it into the water right here. I'm gonna put a little bit of salt in it. A little bit of Chinese 5 spice in here. Now, not a lot. I mean, just as it's boiling, it'll give it a nice little flavor to it. Okay, I'm gonna cut up this pork belly. I'm gonna take the skin off it. Always put a paper towel down on your surface. Put your cutting board on there, and it stops it from moving. Pretty safe that way. So, this is beautiful pork belly here, and it's got that skin on it. Okay, right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it. I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm just going to slice that top skin off. Okay, this stuff is, I mean, very tough. A pig skin is damn near, I mean, you cook it, you can break teeth on it. Okay, now for the seasoning, I'm going to be using my Tommy spice, which is coarse salt, coarse black pepper, also granulated garlic and granulated onion. This little jar right here, to fill it up, actually takes a tablespoon of each component to put it in there, and I tell you, very good. I'm going to put it inside the pan. Also, I'm going to sprinkle some on some of the bacon. Put it in there, and I'll be using a lot more of this. Now, a friend of mine from Not For Nothing Homestead sent me out her wheat Italian. This stuff is very good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be sprinkling this in to the pan, also onto the pork. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bacon here, put it in, spin around a little bit, both sides, okay, and that's going to go onto a rack. Now this rack right here, that'll go into the oven. I got oven set at 350, and we will cook it up. All right, oven's on 350. I have another rack in there, or actually another pan, just in case that pork belly, let me show you, just in case that pork belly decides to drip all onto the side, it'll catch it inside that pan there. we clean the oven quite a bit, but you know what? If you can save yourself a little time, it's well worth it. Okay, I'm gonna make some chicken stock for the soup, and also a little bit for the sauce that I'm gonna be making. Now, in this sauce, I'm gonna be using some anchovy. I'm gonna be cutting up some black olives, Kalamata olives. I'm gonna be using some lemon zest and also some lemon juice in it. And I'm gonna add through some little bit of white wine in it. I'm going to make it almost comparable to a franchise sauce, put a little bit more lemon to it, and I'll be using a Chardonnay. This next appetizer that I'm going to make for you, okay, is called Spadini alla Romano, and today I'm going to be making with an anchovy and olive sauce. Now there again, you can use capers. I'm using olives because I don't have any capers. Pretty simple, but this is there's different variations of it. Let me get it that way. A lot of people just make it as a grilled cheese. Okay, and there was three or four places that I used to get this at in the city. One was Ruggerio's right across the street from Ferrara's Pastries. Also further downtown was Patrici's. Okay, they actually did a cheese spadini and also a veal spadini, and a place in New Brunswick, New Jersey called Dominic's. I mean, that was the places to go to get this the way I'm going to do it. So, okay, so I took the bread that I made the other day. It's a little, I mean, it's still good, but a little stale. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these, I'm going to put the mozzarella cheese in between. Now that's the thickness you want. You don't want it too thick because you want this to be able to cook and all be even. All right, I cut up the block of mozzarella cheese to about that thickness. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to proceed to make little grilled cheese sandwiches at it, and we'll proceed from there. All right. I'm going to put the cheese in here like this. Put this one on top. Okay. Actually, I got to put it that way so it's uniform. And after I make the grilled cheese, I'm going to split this, okay? Cut that little bit of bread off of it so it's all uniform. Uniform because I'm going to be doing is dredging it in an egg wash, and then with some flour. And I'm going to put that into the freezer so everything congeals. And then I'm going to take it out and it's going to go into the deep fryer, and then the sauce is going to get poured over top of it. Okay, that's how it looks in the pan. Okay, there we go right there with the spadini. Now, it's still a little hot. As you can see, the cheese is melting a little bit. They're covered on both sides. Now, these are going to get put together. Another piece of cheese on here. Okay, and then these are going to get skewered. Egg. And then wrapped in flour, dipped in flour, and then they're going to go into the freezer. I'm going to do it a couple times so I get a good coating on it, and then they're going to go into the freezer to stiffen up, so that when I do put it in to the fryer, to the fry oil, it's not going to come apart. Hopefully. Okay, I'm going to cut up some lemons. Now we took the zest off. And put it in here. That's going to go into the sauce also. Put them in here, and I'm going to make some rings. And you can make it any way you want. I mean, this is to lay into the sauce. You know, if you cook these long enough, I'll take the seeds out of here. And if you cook this down inside, you can eat everything. In fact, it tastes pretty good. So I am going to. Today's a little bit of a nostalgia day for me because I'm going back in time. Different places I went to, met some great people, some great chefs along the way. Some of them became friends with. Lost contact with a lot of them over the years, especially when I came out west here out to Las Vegas. So, all right. Now I'm going to be chopping up some of these olives. Now there again, like I said, you can use capers. In fact, the recipe calls for capers, but I look at a recipe as whatever way I make it, okay? I can take the basics. Anybody can take the basics of this stuff. Okay, and yeah, I mean, make it your own. Make it your own way. Okay, olives are chopped. I'm going to add a little bit of my friend here, olive oil. Just going to put a little bit of olive oil in this. And oops. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the fork and mash them down a little bit. Okay. I want this to blend into the sauce really good. I don't want it sticking out like a sore thumb. Also, but make it part of the sauce. Get that flavor from the Kalamata olive. I tell you, it's delicious. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these spadini now. I'm going to put them in through the flour. Okay, just get it pretty well coated with the flour. Now, like I said, this is a process. I had one of the chefs tell me about. This is one of the bigger sellers. Okay, the second battering. Put it on with a brush because the egg is getting pretty thick now from the... Now this was dredged twice. Okay, and I'm going to put the skewers through a little bit more. Now normally, that gap in there, that would be cut. The bread would be square. Okay, so this way you wouldn't run through this problem. You want to make sure everything is egg coated. Okay. See how the bottom is? Bottom is very well coated. Put that egg off to the side. That flour off to the side. Okay, now these, here it is right here. These are going into the freezer. Alright, butternut squash is done. Now I'm going to put that into my food processor. We're going to blend it up a little bit. And then it's going to go back onto the stove, simmer a little bit. And it's going to get finished with a little bit of heavy cream and some pumpkin seeds. And I'm going to add a little chicken stock into my food processor. Okay, here is the puree. Okay, the butternut squash. Now I'm going to put this on the stove. I'm going to get this warm, and then I'm going to hit it a second time, only with the immersion blender, just to get that more soupy consistency. Don't taste too bad though. Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay. Take this a little smoother. Water's boiling for the pasta. I'm going to add a little salt in here to it. Whoa, look at that. Every time. Do it again. Okay, there's probably about 4 tablespoons of salt in here. I'm going to put the pasta in and get that ready to go. Do it again, don't break it. Spread it out. It'll cook down. Just go about 10 minutes. The other side of the stove here, I got the butternut squash soup. That's getting ready. Nice and thick. I'll add a little heavy cream to it just as it's done. We'll serve that up a little bit. Okay, what I do is I have my thermometer right here, and what I do is I try to get it as close to 350 as I can. Now the way I'm frying, I'm not using a lot of material, so for what I have, I'll bring it up too close to 350, and then I'll shut it off, and then I'll insert my what I'm frying. This way, if we do have a spillover, there's no more gas on in the stove and no fire whatsoever. So that's the safer way to do it. Okay, the pasta got a little lazy, now it's laying down. So you just want to stir it around a little bit. Okay. Alright, we're gonna let that go. Okay, garlic's in the pan. Now what I'm going to put in is some of that pork belly. I'm just going to let that roll around here. Now, this dish is normally made with regular smoked bacon, cured bacon. This is uncured pork belly. I'm liking this a little bit more and more as I go along. Well, okay, that's picking up all the aromas. And now I'm putting in a couple handfuls of spinach. Squeeze a little lemon in here. You taste a little bit of the pasta. A couple more seconds. Ladle, please. Now I'm going to take some of the pasta water. I'm going to put that into the pan. Let that get happy. Now I'm going to add a little bit of roux to it. Now this is what I call a bain marie. This is a thickener. It's all it is incorporated butter and flour. Okay, you let this cook down a little bit, but it will thicken it up. That was a big set of tongs. Where would I be? Okay, pasta is ready. Do we have some more grated cheese in there? Look at this. Look at this. Okay, into the pan, some garlic, a little bit of Tommy spice, now I have some anchovy here. It's going to go in. Now I'm not going to use all of this because we'll use some of it during the week in different sauces. Marie's not a big fan of it. Okay, putting that back in. I'm going to lower the heat. A little bit more lemon zest to it. And I'm going to add a little bit of the thickener if it ever gets off the spoon. Do you ever have one of them days where this is a couple of them now in a row? I have a bad leg, so trying to get everything done, it's not coming out too good. I'm going to add a little color to it. Make this thicken up. Okay, before this breaks, I'm going to put it off the burner and just let it sit. Now, if it flares up, I'm going to shut the gas off as I put it in. I want it to submerge all the way in. Now I'll turn the heat back up again. Now all of a sudden I dropped that in there and the temperature went up to 350 degrees. So we're just going to let that cook a little bit. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a long time. A little over 350. We'll lower a little bit. I'm going to take this and turn it over. Now this is going to get a nice golden brown on it. When we get done with it, I'm going to put it on a rack and let it just dry. Okay, Sunday dinner. Starting out with the appetizer. I'm just going to sprinkle this over here. A little bit more juice on there. Alright folks, there we have it. I mean, the pasta, and this is actually pork belly. Now you can make this with bacon and stuff. This I've been liking a lot. So I will be stirring it around here. Load a plate up. Okay. Now, all of a sudden we have soup, because you know what? It's pretty cold out. So I have bowls hot. You have nice butternut squash with a little bit of heavy cream. Put that together. Let me give it a little taste here. Oh yeah. Oh, that is delicious. That's good just by itself. Now, my spadini alla Romano, okay, with anchovy olive sauce. Usually there's capers in it, but you know what? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just lay this down, and I'm just going to cut it right down the middle. And there you have it right there. This is a very expensive mozzarella stick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it again. Dip it into that sauce. Oh baby, look at that. Step aside, Ruggierios. That is fantastic. Alright everybody, thank you very much watching the Sunday Dinner Chef. Stop back next week. We'll be making some more stuff. This stuff you can make at home very easily. Jin Dan.